Back to Hannity. You may remember last night I addressed the Roy Moore issue at the end of the program. I decided to do it again at the end of the program tonight to be consistent in terms of where we put it in the program. It's important. 3 more women have today come forward making accusations against Senate candidate Judge Roy Moore. Now, clearly this now raises new issues in the state of Alabama. Things are getting worse and now very tough on the voters of Alabama. I live there. I'll talk about that in a second. Last night on this broadcast, I demanded answers from Judge Moore when the judge's story broke. Just to remind you, I laid out a history. I don't rush to judgment. And I said these allegations are so serious, this should all transcend politics. Sadly, it's not, but it should. I'm never going to apologize for not rushing to judgment. The issue of presumption of innocence is important to all of us. However, these allegations are beyond disturbing and serious. I have a 16-year-old daughter. Ivanka Trump said something today. There is a special place in hell for people who prey on children. Ivanka Trump is right. There is a special place in hell for predators. That is something everyone should agree with. That should not be political. Now with Judge Moore. Unlike everyone else in the media, I went right to the source. I interviewed him. I went through the Washington Post allegations methodically, point by point, through each and every allegation in the Washington Post in that piece, and I let him respond. Shockingly, for the first time in my life, even liberals praised that interview. Rarity for me. And for me and so many others, it is because what happened in that interview, it did raise new questions. And then came the issue of the yearbook that allegedly shows Judge Moore's message to one of his accusers. And that is why, for the sake of the people of Alabama last night, I demanded answers. They deserve them. Those people of Alabama deserve them before an election. And today, we got the answers to the questions that we asked. Let me give you Judge Roy Moore's attorney. He did a press conference and questioned the validity of the yearbook signature. He said it could be forged and demanded a forensic analysis. Well, I spoke to a forensic analyst on my radio show today, and he said they will be able to tell if the ink is fresh or not, and they will be able to look at comparisons to his handwriting then and then that yearbook and determine if it was his. Judge Moore, today, late tonight, released a letter to me. Let me read it to you. I'm going to read it in full. I think that's fair. Dear Sean, I'm suffering the same treatment other Republicans have had to endure. A month prior to the general election for U.S. Senate in Alabama, I have been attacked by the Washington Post and other liberal media in a desperate attempt to smear my character and defeat my campaign. Over the last 40 years, I have held several public offices, including Deputy District Attorney, Circuit Judge, Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. In addition to running 5 statewide and 3 county campaigns for public office, I have been involved in 2 major controversies that attracted national attention, one about the 10 Commandments, the other about the sanctity of marriage. The Alabama Judicial Inquiry Commission, Court of the Judiciary, and the Attorney General have investigated, scrutinized, examined, and vetted me, not to mention every opposing candidate against whom I have run. I've been married for almost 33 years to my wife, Kayla, and we have 4 children, 5 granddaughters. We are in the process of investigating these false allegations to determine their origin, motivation. For instance, we have documented that the most recent accuser, Beverly Nelson, was a party in a divorce action before me in Etowah County Circuit Court in 1999. No motion was made for me to recuse in her accusations. Nelson did not mention that I was the judge assigned to her divorce case in 1999, a matter that apparently caused her no distress at a time that was 18 years closer to the alleged assault. Yet 18 years later, while talking before the cameras about the supposed assault, she seemingly could not contain her emotions. My signature on the order of dismissal in the divorce case was annotated with the letters D and A, DA, representing the initials of my court assistant. Curiously, the supposed yearbook inscription is also followed by the same initials, DA. But at the time, I was a deputy district attorney, not a district attorney. Those initials, as well as the date under the signature block and the printed name of the restaurant, are written in a style inconsistent with the rest of the yearbook inscription. The 7s in Christmas, 1977, are in a noticeably different script than the 7s in the date 12/22/77. I believe tampering has occurred. Are we at a stage in American politics in which false allegations can overcome a public record of 40 years, stampede the media and politicians to condemn an innocent man and potentially impact the outcome of an election of national importance when allegations of events occurring 40 years ago and never before mentioned during a 40-year career of public service are brought out and taken seriously only 30 days before a critical election? We may be in trouble as a country. He then goes on, I adamantly deny the allegations of Lee Corfman and Beverly Nelson did not date underage girls and have taken steps to begin a civil action for defamation because of that at the discretion of counsel. I cannot comment further. Roy Moore. Now, we demanded rightly answers from Judge Moore. He provided them to the specific questions we asked. In my opinion, so serious. The people of Alabama, they need to know the truth, and they've got to have all the facts that they need. And that means that the Alabama voters can make an educated, informed, inclusive decision for their state when they go to the polls. And if that means, whatever it means, to get to the truth, if it means more time, I believe the governor, according to Greg Jarrett, has the ability to make that decision. The Alabama people deserve that. Greg Jarrett said the governor can delay the race if need be. Now, the people of Alabama deserve to have a fair choice, especially in light of the new allegations tonight. Now, we have told you everyone's point of view. The accusers continue to have an open invitation to come on this show and share their story. At the end of the day, I want to tell you something. I lived in Alabama. I enjoyed my time in Alabama. And I know these people. They're smart. They're great Americans. God, family, faith, country. And I am very confident that when everything comes out, they will make the best decision for their state. It shouldn't be decided by me, by people on television, by Mitch McConnell, Washington, talk show hosts, news people. One more thing. There's a report, by the way, of sexual misconduct in Congress. I'm demanding tonight. They paid $15 million your money. That was paid out to victims. Who are they? Tell us now. And why did they pay it? They need to be exposed. We'll have more on this tomorrow night. Laura Ingram's next. Laura.
Thanks, Sean.